I had him on yesterday, and Tom House was a relief pitcher in Major League Baseball in the 70s. He was pretty good. He wasn't amazing, but he was pretty good. And he's been a pitching coach in baseball and a throwing coach. He was a pitching coach for Nolan Ryan. Nolan Ryan was a guy like Tom Brady who defied the stats. Nolan Ryan was maybe the best pitcher in baseball at the age of 44. And he was still throwing at 46. And he would throw sometimes 200 pitches in a game, and he threw 100 miles an hour. It shouldn't have been. But he took care of himself. First of all, he was genetically freakish. But he also took care of himself in certain ways that Tom Brady, who shares his throwing coach, his pitching coach, also is taking care of himself. And Brady can no longer be compared to other football players as a guide to where he's going. I look at other athletes who are great at an amazingly old age, like Nolan Ryan, pitched when he was 46, like Bernard Hopkins, was beating world-class fighters at the age of 49. So it's a full contact sport, guys. Every play can be your last. But if Brady at this point is saying he would seriously consider playing past 45, then I have to take that seriously.
Well, the one thing we certainly do not have to do is take you seriously. We don't have to do that, okay? Because you see, I'm glad that Marcus is here on this segment with me and Molly as well, because the key thing to point out, Max Kellerman, you know how that cliff, which turned into the ravine that you sat on for 3 years, and Molly, you can co-sign this. Swagoo, you can co-sign this. It's one thing to acknowledge a whoops or an oops and that you were wrong. It's one thing to acknowledge that you were a bit premature or wrong about the cliff. But do you have any idea what level of unmitigated gall you must have to sit up here and start off first take, Max Kellerman, giving us examples of people who actually defied the odds, who defied? You had 4 years to bring. Do you realize, Molly, correct me if I'm wrong, every single example, and Max, I'll give you credit where credit is due. Every single example you brought up is a damn good one. They're good ones. I'm just trying to figure out how the hell you ignored them for 4 years. That's where I'm blown away.
They weren't football players.
Yeah. Hold on, Max. It's a rhetorical question. I'm not asking you to speak. A simple nod of affirmation will do. What amazes me, Max Kellerman, is I'm blown away how you spent 4 years knowing those examples. It's not like those examples just happened. Every example you used was decades old. You had all of this information for 4 years ago. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, 1 year ago, and
do you have an answer to the question or not?
Not only would you not admit it, you wouldn't even take the moment to acknowledge those very examples you've just educated America about. You educated America with those.
I don't see my name anywhere in the question.
I find that just amazing. The answer to the question is I'm not taking Tom Brady seriously, but I just had to get that out because since I've had to sit across from you for 4 years dealing with this, I'll be damned if I'm going to rush getting to the answer without making that point, Max. I'm going to make that point. I had to deal with you for 4 years. Okay.
So why aren't you taking it seriously?
Now let's say this. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN Plus.